The Notorious B.I.G.'s mother, Voletta Wallace, is breaking her silence on all of the Diddy accusations. Not only that, former president of the United States, Donald Trump, has just been convicted on 34 felonies. And he's speaking out.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So before we get to the Donald Trump of it all, let's talk about the Notorious B.I.G.'s mother, Voletta Wallace. So as you know, yesterday we reported to you that Rolling Stone did an expose following this Diddy situation for the last 6 months, speaking to over 50 of close associates and former Bad Boy Records employees of the mogul. Well, a lot of people have been speaking out in that article, and one of the things that stood out to a lot of people in the article was the mention of the Notorious B.I.G. And apparently Biggie Smalls was planning and was working to removing himself and gaining full ownership of his publishing. According to sources close to the situation, they said that Diddy said that he would rather die and his bone turn to powder before giving over the rights to Biggie's music. This all happened weeks before of the Notorious B.I.G. Well, as I mentioned before, a lot of people are speaking out, including Shakir Stewart's own mother, about an incident that happened in Italy where Shakir Stewart was violently assaulted by Sean Diddy Combs. Well, now the Notorious B.I.G., aka Christopher Wallace's mother, Voletta Wallace, is speaking out. She says this in an interview. She says, "I hope that I see Sean one day, and the only thing I want to do is slap the daylights out of him. You can quote me on that." She adds, "Because I liked him, I didn't want to believe all the awful things, but I'm so ashamed and embarrassed." So a lot of people are putting together like, wait, so you're not in constant communication with Sean Combs? A lot of people thought that his relationship with Biggie's mom was more than that. But if you follow some of the tea over the years, even Biggie's daughter talked about how she really isn't in communication. And she even shaded Diddy a couple of years ago in regards to that. But he tried to clean it up right after the statement was made. But this should be no surprise in regards to how she's feeling, because I think a lot of people, especially after CNN broke the video footage of that incident where you see Diddy in the halls of the now closed Intercontinental Hotel hurting and harming Cassie, confirming a story that she told in her 35-page lawsuit against the mogul, which was later settled less than 24 hours after it was filed. So it's no surprise that Voletta Wallace and everyone seems to be turning on Sean Diddy Combs. Speaking of turning on people, it seems as if the hands of the law are turning on Donald Trump. For those that know, we don't necessarily cover all the politics. However, we don't really consider Donald Trump politics because at one point he was a celebrity. But we also cover the most important things in pop culture news, and nothing is more important than our political elections that are coming up in November. And the strange part of the story is that despite being convicted, a convicted felon technically won't be able to even vote. He is still able to run for president this year. Our friends over at the Shade Room write this in regards to the breaking news. Former President Donald Trump has been found guilty on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records after paying adult entertainer Stormy Daniels $130,000 shortly before the election. This decision comes after 7 weeks of testimony and is historically the first criminal trial of an American president. Trump was indicted in March of last year following a years-long investigation. The jury reached its verdict after 9.5 hours of deliberations. Yesterday, Judge Juan Merchan instructed jurors for about an hour on how they were meant to inform jurors about how they are supposed to consider the 34 business falsifications. The testimonies that the jury heard included claims that Trump Cohen, you remember his attorney, and David Pecker plotted to cover up this payment. Cohen testified twice, and Pecker testified on his phone calls with Trump. Trump did not take the witness stand to offer his own account of what happened, despite proclaiming before the trial began that he would absolutely testify. But his attorneys probably told him, no, I think you might hurt yourself further if we have you speak. But that has not stopped Donald Trump from speaking in the media or at the trial outside of the courtroom. Overall, the prosecution called 20 witnesses in the case, while the defense called 2. Trump continuously falsely claimed that the charges against him was a political grab orchestrated by President Joe Biden to keep the former president from getting back in office. Donald Trump still has 3 other cases against him: a federal election interference case in Washington, D.C., a state election interference case in Georgia, and a federal case alleging he mishandled classified documents and national security information. Sentencing for Donald Trump is on July 11th. Sidebar, the same day as our Nashville, Tennessee show. And then the next day we're in Atlanta. More details on how you can meet me in person and drop tea and talk all about this mess available in the description. I'll see you guys on the road. But we're not done. We're not done in regards to this situation. This is interesting timing because on July 11th, when he'll be sentenced, is literally days before Republicans are set to select him as the 2024 nominee. Yes, he's still being considered. He's still eligible. But technically, because he's a convicted felon, he will not be able to vote. All right, but that's not it. Donald Trump came out of the courtroom and had a statement. Not only that, on his social media app, Truth Social, he posted a statement as well saying this: "My civil rights have been totally violated with this highly political, unconstitutional, and election interfering witch hunt. Our failing nation is being laughed at all over the world." Well, he wasn't done because he came out to reporters and said,
"This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now, from prisons and from mental institutions, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble, but this was a rigged decision right from day one, with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Lord, he loves to say witch hunt, rigged. Take a shot every time he says it. Look, I'm more dumbfounded that this man can still run for election. There are still people that have found it in their brains, still able to logically support this person. No matter how you feel about Joe Biden, Trump is the worst of what he calls the swamp that there is. And unfortunately, they have not found a proper representation for the Republican Party. But like he said, at the end of the day, this is an important time for our American history and our democracy. Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to register to vote, first of all. And don't forget to vote come November. And prove to him what exactly you expect from your president. Guys, as always, I want to know and hear your thoughts on Donald Trump being convicted of 34 felonies, yet still able to run for president, but not able to vote in an election. Also, I want to hear your reaction about Voletta Wallace and what she had to say about Sean Diddy Combs. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
Here we go now.